Hey, it's Matt here, and I am here with my teammate Natalia. Natalia, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Matt.
And you know, this has been a really unique market for buyers, and I think the question that everybody wants to know is, how do I get my offer accepted? Well, Natalia has a really amazing track record with getting her buyers' offers accepted, and so I wanted to quiz her a little bit, and we can share with you guys some of the hot tips for that. So let's jump right in with that magic question, Natalia. How do I get my offer accepted?
Well, first of all, it's always going to depend on the house the buyer is looking for. So if it's a house that you selected a home that it's in the best location and it's very new or very well maintained, it will have a multiple offer situation. So the first thing that we do is do our homework and have data, information about all the sold homes in the region that are similar to that one and have the right market price of that home.
Yeah, so really doing the homework. But
Yeah.
I think even in this market, if the home's priced right or possibly even just a little high, but it's an amazing home, people are just piling on it with multiple offers. And I know if you're watching my market updates, you're hearing me say the market's cooling off, and that is mostly true. But if you're a seller and you did what we suggested and your house looks great, everybody's gonna wanna make an offer on that house, and it's gonna have multiple offers. So we know a lot about the house. Now, what's the next step and take?
Well, the next step is to build a rapport with the listing agent. We write offers every single day on this market, and we know a lot of listing agents. Most of the times we already know the listing agent and we already built a rapport and we know each other. But it's important as well to understand what is the seller most important points. So sometimes maybe, of course, the price, but can be a leaseback or any other term that is important, short closing. So this is very important for us to be close with the listing agent and the seller and understand what is important so we can advise you and structure a very good offer.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, the listing agent sometimes will give us the keys of the kingdom. Others keep their cards close to the chest. But as an agent, we're going to work with them in that transaction. So having a rapport up front is good. So let's dig in a little more. What's that formula? Like, they're ready to make an offer. We all like the listing agent. Maybe the listing agent likes us. Now, what's the next step?
Well, the first thing is define the price. What is your best and high price that you are willing to pay for this house? Because there's not going to be a second chance. Most of the time, it's one shot.
Yeah,
right?
I love the people that say, oh, I wouldn't pay more than this. And then we come back and tell them, unfortunately, somebody else paid more. And like, no, I'll increase my offer by $5,000. So they didn't give us their highest price. So the highest you're willing to pay, it really all starts from price and then kind of trickles down from there.
Yeah.
What's another term we can think of when it comes to?
Well, second is the option fee and the option period. And I would say like the shorter, the best. Because there are buyers on the market who is waiving the option period, but I honestly don't recommend for my clients.
Yeah, I agree. I feel very uncomfortable telling a buyer to waive their option period. And just as a reminder for those watching, the option period is that it's an unrestricted right to terminate. As a buyer, you would want all the time in the world because you can change your mind and back out for any reason. A seller would prefer no option period. A happy balance is a short option period that you pay a lot for.
Mm-hmm.
And it used to be, a lot was like $250 like a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Now what's a lot?
Now we are talking about $1,000 or even more sometimes.
And that's money as a buyer that if you terminate, you're not going to get it back. But if you're trying to differentiate yourself from somebody else, if you put a big option fee up there and everybody else is offering a few $100s or $500, they're going to know you're serious.
Yes. And the other point is appraisal waiver. So most of the homes that we are selling and most of the buyers who are winning on this market, on the competitive homes, are doing 100% appraisal waiver.
Mm-hmm. And that's a whole separate video, and that's a conversation with your agent. If you want that best house, I think you need to be willing to do an appraisal waiver.
Yeah.
So appraisal waiver, we want to have a high option fee. What about earnest money?
Well, earnest money needs to be as high as possible. Used to be around 1%, but we are seeing like 2% or even more. The earnest money shows the seller that you are serious about and you have money to put down in the very beginning of the contract.
The upside is that earnest money is refundable so long as we terminate the contract, but you're tying it up while you're under contract, so it just shows more commitment. So Yeah, that's a good point. 2-3%, you're showing a lot more commitment than somebody that's barely pushing 1%.
Exactly.
Earnest money.
So there is a title policy that we highly recommend the buyers should pay it on the contract for the seller. And this makes our offer much more stronger.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's negotiable, but a lot of times when you want to win, you give the seller everything they want and then a little bit more too.
Yeah.
So we give them a lot of the key terms. There are some non-financial terms too, though, that can really make your contract stand out. What are those?
Well, basically, have as lower as possible contingents on your contract, so it's less risk for the seller. If the seller is looking for a leaseback, I would recommend to give like a free leaseback for the seller.
I agree.
And if he is not even requesting a leaseback, just give a few weeks or a month of free leaseback. This will soft his move out of the house. And the third point is have a closing date very short. When I say short, I would say 2 weeks or 3 weeks would be a very good closing date, but it always depends on the lender that you choose.
Yes, the lender. That can really make or break your offer. So let's talk about your thoughts on your lender.
So the lender is going to play an important role on the contract because he's one of the most important pieces during the process. He's going to dictate when he can close the deal. So if you have a very, very good lender who has experience, he easily can close within 2 weeks, right, Matt?
Yeah, for sure. A good lender can close quickly. And a formula that often works is close quick and give the lease back, like Natalia talked about. And the other piece that I like about the more local lenders is when we've submitted your offer, we're probably going to call the listing agent and talk to them. And at the same time, we can have that lender call them and tell them, hey, my client, and talk about the buyer and their ability to borrow and how easy it's going to be. So there's going to be 2 people speaking on your behalf. So really important point that you made up, and I'm glad you brought that up. Lender is not part of the terms of the offer, but it can differentiate you from somebody else whose terms are similar.
Exactly.
What else? I mean, I think we've covered a lot of points here. We've got, as an agents, we build rapport. We're going to speak on behalf of our clients. We write a really strong contract. You talked about some of those terms. Work with a great lender. They're part of the team too. Anything else you can think of for a buyer that wants to get their offer accepted?
Well, there's one point that there are buyers who love to do that and others not as much, but it's to write a letter for the seller. Because on the other side, the seller is a human being just like us. So he wants to sell a home for someone who is going to take care of the home, and he wants to understand why did you pick his home. So it's very important for you to write a letter from your heart why you love the home. And if your offer is very similar to another offer, but you have a letter, maybe it's a winner for you.
Yeah, I mean, as seller's agent, when I'm representing the seller, there is concern about looking at the letters, but when I'm representing the buyer, I say, let's submit that letter. Like, let's get you aligned with the house you like and communicate that to the seller in the best way we can. Some people are even willing to do a video, and we like video. I think too, as an agent, we can sometimes differentiate by us sending a video on behalf of our clients.
It makes much more personal, right?
Yeah, just humanizing the offer. Yeah. So I think those are great tips. I mean, it is a tricky market, but buyers are winning and getting houses every day. So work with Natalia. She can help you get your offer accepted. Our team loves helping buyers. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out. We're here to serve you. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And in the meantime, make sure to check out some of our other videos featured on our channel.